Microphones. There's typically two colors you see. Occasionally, one of the big companies will get courageous and throw something new into the mix. But for decades, the default remains black in various shades of nickel. Maybe colorful mics don't sell. Maybe I'm the only one who wants to buy a TLM 103 in cosmic purple. Maybe I'm the only person that recklessly doesn't think about resale value. So join me as we tear down this SM7B and make it pretty for my girlfriend. Step 1. Disassemble the mic. Be careful not to strip the screw to the XLR jack. You do turn it left, but that's actually going to push the screw in further, allowing you to pull out the XLR jack. If you've never wired a mic before, make sure to take notes and photos of everything before doing any desoldering. This is going to make your life so much easier when you go to put this back together. Now, to remove the wires from the mic holder, there's a small screw in there that you have to get to, so grab a small flathead with a lot of reach. And with that out of the way, we can keep taking this mic apart. Now this is the most important part of the mic. This is the SM7B's capsule or cartridge. While taking apart the mic, we're going to be careful not to really mess with this any more than we have to. Now there's one more retaining screw for these wires and just a couple points to solder inside the mic. And luckily, since I have nothing to hold the mic, this mic does have those little plastic teeth that gives us just enough protection to be able to solder while keeping it on its face. I will say this is the second most stressful part of this entire process. The first, soldering these back on. Now with the mic fully disassembled, it is time for step 2, sanding and painting. Alright, so I've been curious how big of a difference sanding down to the bare metal makes versus just the color that, is already there, the black. So we've rough sanded down one side pretty good, and then the other side we've just sanded enough to rough it up so that the paint sticks to it better. So what I'm going to do now is, well, right now I'm getting all the dust off it that I can, because that will be one of the biggest problems with the paint sticking. I'm going to use a piece of this wire, and we are going to secure, oh, I forgot the screws. All right, so how I secure this in a way that I can spray paint it without blocking parts is I put 2 of the screws back in, feed the wire from the inside of the screw to the other one. So let's see, can I block it like this? It's like that. And now I can hold it like this. One last little wipe off with the isopropyl. Alright, so how I feel like I get decent coats is I never spray paint on the object. I always start off of it. So I would if I'm facing it towards you, right? I would start spraying here, cross, and let go. Then start spraying cross, let go. And I would do that all the way down. And I'd do a distance, whatever distance works, where I start as far away as possible and slowly move in until I start seeing the spread that I want. The goal is just not to be too close where you start getting the pilling, the beading, but not far away enough where you're getting just super uneven spread. I'm glad to see that I'm not seeing a very obvious spot where we didn't sand, so I think we're fine to just rough up the sides and then spray the thing. Wait 1 minute between each coat, and then apply additional coats before 6 hours or after 24 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply a couple more coats to this, all the other pieces. We're going to let them sit for 24 hours, take a look, probably sand them down, and then do one last finishing coat and do some wet sanding. Once everything has dried, it is time for step 3, reassemble. And that brings us to step 4, enjoy. I am so happy with how these mics came out. The one that I filmed is obviously the Lavender Shure SM7B. This one here is a WA-47, and this is another SM7B. This one is mine. I love that shade of blue, but I also love the WA-47 Junior in that kind of eggshell. And there's just something really cool to me about having more colors in the studio. I love seeing people who have like a theme in their life with colors. I think that studios that have a theme are really cool too. And being in Nashville, you oftentimes come across, just people who dive so deep into bringing their vision, their person, their persona to their studio. And I think that painting mics is something that is such a cool way to do that. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe everyone else in the world loves just the black and gold mics, but there's something about having something blue. Even this is the WA-87 II, the Mark II, and they have like this titanium finish, which I love. I love it. Looks like a lightsaber. And some people probably hate the fact it looks like a lightsaber handle. I love the fact it looks like a lightsaber handle. Basically just made this video because I wanted people to know, like, hey, you can paint things. It's not hard. If I can do it, you can do it. And they all came out pretty good. There's one chip. I'll show you this. I didn't do a clear coat on this mic, and it was, again, as part of the testing period. I was like, oh, we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. I'm not sure if this happened. Can we see it? I'm not sure if that happened from me hitting it on something, in which case a clear coat would have been very nice. Or if maybe since it was super humid when I was painting, there just happened to be something underneath, or maybe even a bug since I did it outside, that caused that to, just have a bump that ended up getting peeled off. Who knows? I'm happy with it. And the best part is, it's mine. So if Holly doesn't like it, I get to sand it and start over. Well, thank you for watching. Good day, good evening, good night, whatever time it is. Bye.